Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new season of the Purposeful Life Show with your host, Adrian Starks. I'm excited to share some new updates of the show with you, starting with a new look, sound, and energy, as well as a variety of guests coming aboard with intriguing topics of conversation. I hope you enjoy the new level of energy that will be brought to the show. Thank you for all of your support since the very beginning in 2019. Wow, it's been 3 years already? Because of you, the Purposeful Life Show is now in the top 5% of all podcasts globally, and we aim to get it into the top 1%. Continue listening to the show and share it with others. You can also now listen to the show on my Facebook page at Adrian Starks, where you can comment in real time and communicate with me about your aha moments. Thank you again for all of your support, and let's make this one hell of a year and be purposeful about doing that. Wishing you all much love and success. Hi, my name is Adrian Starks, and welcome to the Purposeful Life Show on the Champion Up Podcast. This podcast is for the courageous creators wanting to create a life of meaning, adventure, and fulfillment, all while helping to make the world a better place. I'm happy you're here, and if you're new to our show, make sure to give us that 5-star rating and subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes. Also, connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at Champion Up. It is always that one idea that could be your breakthrough. It's time to step into your courage and believe the champion in you. Welcome, everyone, to the Purposeful Life Show on the Champion Up Podcast. My name is Adrian Starks, and I am your host, and I'm happy to have you here today. If this is your first time listening, please feel free to give us that 5-star and go and subscribe to the show because we're happy to have you here for more future powerful content. And also, the Champion Up app is available on the App Store. Just go in and type in Champion Up, and you can download it for free for some more amazing content. And today, I'm very excited to bring on a special guest that we had on a previous week, and we're going to go deeper into our conversation about the road to a fulfilling life. And this guest, his name is Matthew McGregor. He's the CEO and founder of the Client Conversion Formula. Matthew, can you say hello?
Hi, Adrian. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me back. I love being here.
Oh, I'm happy to have you back. And I know our guests are happy to have you back because last time you gave us some very powerful content and we're excited to hear some more powerful things from you. And if you're listening, please get a pen and pad out because Matthew is all about providing gems of wisdom that can help you live that life of fulfillment. So let's get into a little bit about Matthew here for those of you maybe listening for the first time. Matthew is the CEO and founder of the Client Conversion Formula. Matthew helps his clients generate more income and find more clients to create a life of true freedom. Think about that, a life of true freedom. And what does that mean to you? Maybe it's more choices to do the things you love, more time, more money, more travel, more time with your family and friends. This is what we call true freedom. And this is what my life is about now that I had a chance to be able to learn from Matthew McGregor. And so Matthew is what I call a courageous creator who has decided to be here on this planet and to help other people live a life of meaning and value and purpose, but by also helping them to create their own life. And we're going to talk today about what that looks like, the road to a fulfilling life, and what happens when you get into the unknown territory. And Matthew, I want to thank you again for being on our show today, and I'm excited to be talking with you some more.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And so last time we talked, we had a great conversation, by the way. So I learned a lot and I had a chance to reflect. And let me tell you, I am much more wiser today than I was last time we talked. So we talked about traveling. You know, you went to Peru, you went to Australia, and you expressed how that feels to be able to go where you want, when you want, right?
Yes.
We talked about doing what you love. We talked about, self-persistence, staying with it. We talked about self-doubt. And we talked a little bit about the aloneness of doing these things. And that's what we're here today to talk about, being alone in this journey, right? The unknown territory and what that feels like and what people can do along that journey. And so I want to ask you, we're going to get into some questions here, but before we do that, can you explain a little bit more about what you do to our audience here for the first time listeners who may be just chiming in for the first time today?
Absolutely, for sure. So what I do is I help people to generally, it has to do with business, but in general, create a life of meaning, fulfillment, and be able to have the income in order to support, whatever it is you are passionate about and want to do. In this case, I'm very passionate about traveling, as Adrian just mentioned, and that's really what I help people with, is to begin to create that life.
I love that, to begin to create that life and travel. And everyone wants to travel, but a lot of us don't realize that we can travel so much more than what we're doing. And I'm not saying just go to a different city. A lot of people just think, oh, I'm going to a different city today or a different state. We're talking traveling around the world and seeing things that you read about in textbooks and history books and being able to experience that on your own accord. And that's what it's all about. So, Matthew, I'm very impressed with your story and how you got started, with your business. And one thing that I had a chance to look at was your video. And Matthew has a fascinating video, by the way, on his website. And he talks about in his video briefly, I'm not going to give it away. You guys need to go see it. So he talks briefly about that turning point in his life where I believe, and Matthew, you can correct me if I'm wrong in this, you had, was it $37 in the bank? Is that what you had?
It was around that number. It was definitely pretty low.
Okay, around that number. All right. So we're going to talk about today, the discomfort of going on that journey, right? Because if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And I believe in the great words of a guy named Jim Rohn, right? We talked about him last time as well, Matthew.
Yes. Yes.
He said what's easy to do is also easy not to do. So we want to talk about today what's easy not to do. That's not trying. But back to your story, the $37 or close to that in the account. How did you feel when you saw like money leaving your account, but no money coming in and you were just running out, but you wanted to do something with your life?
Well, I'll be honest, Adrian. At this point, in this story, to give a little bit more clarification, I was in only grade 10. So what was happening was all of my friends were going out and they were getting their jobs, their minimum wage jobs, the Panago, the McDonald's, the Domino's, right? All this sort of stuff, these minimum wage $10, $11 an hour jobs. But I was too lazy to do that. Are you kidding? Work that hard for that little? There's no way. But clearly it wasn't working for me because like I said in my video and my story, is I was running out of money day after day after day. And there came a point where I said to myself, maybe I might have to go and do this, but there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way because there's all these other people in life who are doing it. Sure, they might have more experience, might be a little older, but where there's a will, there's a way. Absolutely. And so, yes, absolutely.
I like that.
Thank you. So one must go ahead and start seeking out that way and being persistent about it, not saying, oh, I tried this, and this for 5 minutes and I gave up. Being persistent about it and knowing that if there's something that's not going your way in life or something that you're not happy with, then maybe it's time to look at, do other people have what I want to have? And is there a way for me to get there?
I love that. Is there a way for me to get there? That's the key here, everyone. Is there a way for me to get there? And as Matthew mentioned, where there's a will, there's a way. And yes, there is a way, but you got to start asking that question first. And speaking of questions, Matthew, how much support did you have in the beginning when you were starting out your business?
Not much. I'll be honest. I had my parents. I had maybe a couple books. But that's really it. And what I want to tell anybody who's interested in starting a business and creating a life of abundance and freedom financially, right, is that it doesn't take much to start a business. All it takes is a little something called ingenuity. That's also a term similar to creativity. It means that as long as you think outside the box and you have a drive to do something, then there's so many creative ways to be successful Because the reality is that, 99% of the world, in my opinion, aren't living the life that they want to live, right? And the reality is that chances are most of these people are doing the exact same thing. And so if you do the exact same thing as them, then, well, you're not going to get the results you want in life.
That's so true, and that's what we think, that we have to do what everyone else is doing. And you said this keyword ingenuity. So I want you guys to all write that down, ingenuity, and think about thinking outside of the box. Because in the beginning of things, you're not going to have that support that you think you're going to get. And this is where many people fall, right, Matthew? They think that,
yes,
well, I got to have everyone in my corner. I got to have everyone saying yes, everyone giving me the green light, everyone saying this is a great idea, this is wonderful. And that is not the case. You get just the opposite, right? You get like, why are you doing this? Or that's stupid. That hasn't been done before. So we don't want to elaborate on the negative too much here, but we want to just say that this is what happens when you're on that road to a fulfilling life, that you're going to face those, what we call road bumps, but they're not the end of the road, right? And so you want to find the people, and you can do this, that will help you along the way. But you have to, as Matthew said, be persistent and not get off the road and park somewhere and just stop. You have to find something, make a decision about it and go for it, and don't stop until you get closer. Matthew, this is great, this information that I'm getting from you here, and I know that our audience is just taking this up. So what do you wish you would have known when you first started out?
Easy. Great question. Love it. Audience, take notes. You're going to like this.
I'm taking notes.
In terms of a business context, I'll give two contexts, business and mindset. Okay. So in terms of first a business context, the number one thing that you need to understand when creating a business is that you can't work hourly. Hourly is what employees do. Hourly is what people do who they go into home for a couple hours, fix something, and then they get paid, right? Whereas a business person gets paid generally by the package. Now, you might have hourly time, but it might be in a package format. For example, Apple, they sell iPhones. You think they're charging an hourly rate for their iPhones? No, it doesn't make sense. But we see it all the time in coaching, in even in jobs where people go into homes, they do electrical work or maybe plumbing, right? Where people get all uptight because they say, it's going to be $50 an hour, but then they end up taking 100 hours longer, if that's an exaggeration, than it normally would take. And it ends up costing hundreds or even thousands of dollars more. And so as a really good business person, it's good practice for you, and your customers will also love it, to begin looking at yourself as a real entrepreneur and saying, I'm going to create a very valuable package to help and serve the world. And there's two ways you can do that. You can either go two routes in terms of business. You can either go number one, the value route, or you can go number two, the volume route. There's really only two ways to make money in business. It's either value or volume. And volume basically means you have to sell a lot of product for very little. Mm-hmm. And value means you can sell less product or service for much more. For example, you can sell 1,000 $10 things to make $10,000, or you could sell 10 $1,000 things to make $1,000. And it's entirely up to you which route you go. I personally prefer the value route, but that's the two ways to make money in business. And then what comes down to it is, once you've got that, then it comes to the mindset of how you're going to be successful. And a really powerful mindset for any entrepreneur, just in general, any person to have, is somewhat related to ingenuity and persistence, in terms of being open to new ideas as you're going about doing things. Because let's say you set a goal, you want to make $100,000 this year. Great. I love it. Mm-hmm. However, if last year you made only $20,000, $15,000, chances are your $100,000 plan might be a little flawed. And so as you go about doing this and actually putting into action this plan, chances are there's going to be steps along the way that are going to be a little flawed. So you have to be open to change and open to changing your direction. And one of the greatest ways you can get the support that you need in order to hopefully get it right the first time, well, hopefully, but if you need to change directions, go a different way, then my suggestion is for you that you find a mentor who's already done something similar or done this exact same thing within whatever industry you're passionate about. Whether that be fashion, great, find a mentor. Whether that be you want to coach people, be a life coach, something like that, great, find a mentor. For whatever it is, even retail, you want to open a restaurant, let me tell you, that's one of the hardest things to do. And so if you think you can open a restaurant without somebody guiding you step by step along to make it successful, then you're shooting yourself in the leg. Because one of the things that I tell people is that, yes, you can make money. People say all the time, do what you love and the money will follow. Right?
We've heard that, yeah.
But that's just not entirely true, is it?
No.
Because you have to do the other things as well to make the money follow.
And that is so important. You have to do the other things as well, the things that you don't want to do. They're worthy things, but the things that you feel uncomfortable doing. And this is what we talked about, being on that road that is less traveled. I think it was a poet, Robert Frost, who said that. And so Matthew brought up two major points here about the mindset. It is being open to change. So remember that, being open to the plan changing and adapting to it and working along the way. And the second key here is mentors, but find the people. Please, everyone, listen to this. Find the people that are actually doing what you want to do, okay? They're not talking about it. Do your research. Are they doing what you want to do? And then learn from them. Learn, be a student. This is what it means to be on the road to a fulfilling life if you want to create something. And that road, as Matthew mentioned, is not going to be the easiest of roads. But if you follow these steps, as he's mentioned to you, the volume, what are you looking for to do? And then the mindset, right? You're finding the right mentors and you're being open to change and ideas. He mentioned earlier, thinking outside the box. When I first started Champion Up, I had no idea that it was going to come to a podcast, but here we are. I had no idea it was going to come to an app, but here we are. And that Champion Up app, you can go to the App Store and download that to see that, where it has come the powerful content. So this is what it means to be on the road and to allow for change to occur. Now, Matthew, how has this allowed you to impact the things that you feel passionate about in life? Taking this road less traveled.
To do the things that I really want in life?
Yeah.
Or to impact people? Oh, absolutely. So by doing this specifically, I am very blessed. I like to say, I am blessed to live the life I have. But at the same time, what I tell people is that you can feel blessed, but you can also feel like you've earned it.
Yes.
Because there's a difference between, you might feel blessed if you win the lottery, but, well, you didn't really earn it.
Yeah, you didn't earn it.
Right? And that's one of the greatest gifts in life, is being able to work towards something that you're passionate about and create something that actually leaves your mark on this world. And by doing that, when you choose to do that, then you can have the life that you truly desire. With the whether you want to do what I did, go to Peru, Australia. I've also been to all across Europe. I've been to the UK. It's absolutely fantastic. And that's what I really want for you.
And that is what I love about Matthew McGregor here, the CEO and founder of the Client Conversion Formula, the fact that he wants things for you. And there's not too many people out there like that. They want something from you, and then they'll help you. But he's like, I want to help you, because he's doing it all and he has seen it. And he wants to share that with you. And this is why he is what I call a courageous creator. And he's on this planet to do some powerful things. And speaking of courageous creator, I have a courageous creator question I'm going to ask you, Matthew.
Okay.
And that question, it's a big one, but I know that you're courageous enough to answer it.
Sure. I'm excited. Go ahead.
All right. What is happiness to you? What is the meaning of happiness?
Oh, that is a big question. Huh. All right. So my answer to that, the meaning of happiness is simply this: to live a good life. Because in the midst of all our achieving, building, and growing, being part of society, the country, the world, being all this stuff, here's what you must learn to figure out: how to continuously live a good life. And that starts with you, whoever it is listening, taking action and doing the things necessary to actually create that, because you can never have it until you actually start working towards it.
And there we have it. To Live a Good Life by Matthew McGregor. And this is why he is a courageous creator, and he is doing some spectacular things out here in the planet. And Matthew, how can people get in touch with you?
They can go to my website, and that's clientconversionformula.com, or you can go to the App Store. Just like Adrian, he's got his Champion Up app. You can also go ahead and download my app at the same time. So just go to the App Store, go type in Client Conversion Formula, download that, and then head over and type in Champion Up and also download that app. Just do it at the same time. That would be fantastic.
Do it at the same time. You got 2 apps to download, and everyone, we are happy that today you were able to join us on this journey. And remember that this road that you're traveling on, you're not necessarily alone. You're just a little further back, but you will catch up with the people who can help you, but you have to stay on the road. As Matthew mentioned, your mindset is so important, and to start thinking about mentors, thinking about your ideas, thinking outside the box, and going to the people who can actually help you. And by doing that, you will be able to live and start to create that life you want. And the first step today is going and downloading Matthew's app, the Client Conversion Formula. Go type that in the App Store, and the Champion Up app as well, to get that powerful content. Until then, everyone, I encourage you to be that courageous creator in your life. This is the Purposeful Life Show on the Champion Up podcast with myself, Adrian Starks, and thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed our podcast today, don't forget to give us that 5-star rating and subscribe to the show so you don't miss out on the powerful life-changing content on future episodes. Also, make sure to go to championup.net for even more life-changing content. Until then, I encourage you to be the courageous creator in your life.